gentlemen, welcome to another episode of My Book Story. This is Global Conference TV. We're giving authors an opportunity to share their story and the story behind their books. Today I am with Welile Mbolekwa, an author of Oh My God, I Am a Single Father. So today we're going to dig deep to this stigma that is affecting South Africa and the whole world. Mr. Welile, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. Can't complain. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming to the show. It's an honor to have someone like you to come and share the story about your book. But before we can go any further, speak about the book, can you introduce yourself and tell us who are you, what are you doing, and where are you doing everything?
My name is Welile Mbolekwa, motivational speaker, an author, and a trainer specifically focused on presentation skills programs, and a coach, basically.
Okay.
Yes, I'm an author of this book that you're talking about, Oh My God, I'm a Single Father. Well, I found myself one day as a single father, hence the shocker, because I never thought, I never planned, I never imagined myself as a single father. But life happens, and I found myself having to raise my two daughters. Basically, my wife had left us, so we had to deal with that.
Okay, so the topic of your book, the title of the book, is interesting. You say that I'm a single father, because most of the time we hear about single mothers. And for you, before we go deep to the book, the experience of being a single father, can you share with us?
Well, first there's a couple of stages. One is you being awake to the reality that the person that you had shared 12 years of your life with is gone and not coming back to the picture. And now you're having a family that you're raising. Yes, my view of a marriage is a nest where kids are being raised. A family is a nest where kids are being raised. But when you're waking up and you find yourself in a situation like that, you are first going to deal with the fact that you're heartbroken from perspective of being a husband.
Okay.
There's that element. There's denial, there's acceptance of the reality, and also then you deal with the fact that your kids are breaking down. Your kids are used to having a family, a stable environment, and now all of a sudden, one parent is no longer in the picture. And you have to deal with the double-edged sword, that kind of pain. Basically, that's the reality. And, well, unfortunately, most men, what they normally do in situations like those is giving their kids over to their parents, others to aunts, to raise their kids for them. And I really think that I felt that I believe that there are men out there who have done better than me, who have lived this journey, walked this journey far long before I did. Yeah. And that have actually done exceptionally well, and that I respect. In fact, somehow I became aware of the fact that there are men who have done that, and it is great. But then for me, it is the fact that the stories are just not shared. The stories are not out there. And I believe that for someone who was facing what I was going through, we need to have platforms. We need to have ways of encouraging them, because there's a lot that you're dealing with. The weight is real, the pain is real, and at first there's a time when I was driving with my two daughters and I felt like driving the car over the bridge, and that's how real the pain is.
Sure. Yeah. Like what you have just touched, it's something serious, because we are focusing on you being a single parent, but now the psychological and the emotional part, but when I was reading your book, I understand that there's something severe that people, they might not even understand. You can be a single father to a boy, but being a single father to two girls.
True.
And can you share with me the trauma that you are faced with? Because I know it's traumatizing. I have a daughter. Like my wife left yesterday to a conference, and then I have to stay with her. And for me, that's one. It's a traumatic situation because I don't know what to do. I ended up calling my sister from KZN to come and help me, but I cannot understand what is happening in your situation when you have two girls that you have to take care, and for guys it's not normal. But share with us that.
Well, it is, I guess, scary to raise girls, as a young man. Well, but not that scary for me to a certain extent, because I was always surrounded by girls. I was raised by a single mother myself, and it was just me, my younger sister, and my mother. And later on, when I got married, the past 12 years, I spent it with my ex-wife as well as my daughters. So I've always been surrounded by girls, to a certain extent. So there's certain things that I know, but I really think that when you are now alone in that situation, you have to be a father and also be a parent, a mother at the same time. That's where things are really cutting much deeper, because now you have to really know things in details. Back then they would just say, for example, can you just buy this, specify maybe if they want you to buy the sanitary towels, and just say, buy this, and you're not really putting it into mind as to what kind of a sanitary towel is that. But somehow, having to walk the journey with my daughters, the older one, for example, had to go through her periods, after, during the process. And I had to find ways, strategies of sitting down with her and talk her through, So I had to research first on the internet, write, a lot of notes down, and then come back and, but thank God, there's kind of schools that they go to. I mean, those schools are already, they equip the kids. So somehow when I sat down with her, I found that most of the things that I had written down, she already knows. And she was more like educating me than I, having to take her through that. But on the other hand as well, I think my sister was a really great support, because my sister doesn't live far from where I stay. So with that as well, it has been really helpful and really strengthening, Yes, now there's that. And then the other day she said, Daddy, please, I need to get the heavy flow, what do you call, sanitary towels. And I thought, heavy flow, what is that? I've never heard of a heavy flow. I've known about sanitary towels for the rest of my life, perhaps. But then now there's a heavy flow. Look for a heavy flow. Now, the first thing that came into mind is probably you will not find the heavy flow in the normal supermarket. And probably you find it somewhere in a specialized area, maybe like a pharmacy. But then, she said, no, you will find them at a spa. Look for the heavy flow. Yeah, you see, so yeah, I went looking for the heavy flow, and you know what? To my surprise, I got the heavy flow, and it was not such a task to find that heavy flow. Wow. Yes.
And you see, you've written like every time when I read your book, I'm asking myself, do you understand what the kind of book you have written? Because it's for us guys, and you have given us an insight that we did not have, but. Your first chapter, you said, "Man up." Why?
Yeah.
Why did you write such title? Say, "Oh my God, I'm a single parent," and then now your first chapter, "Man up."
Well, an incident, that happened, that we were all just now we're facing the reality that the mother of the house is gone, because we thought that she was coming back, and we were under the impression that she was coming back, and when I was now trying to tell her that when are you coming back, the kids are going through this, going through that, and she said, "Man up." She said, "Man up," and I realized that I needed to man up in order for me to handle the situation. Yeah. Yes, I was breaking, I was crying, and I was, appealing to her to come back. And, that's when it hit me when she said, man up. I'm not coming back, man up. So yes,
Yeah.
the chapter is based on that, basically.
That, yeah. And there's another incident where part of the book, when I was reading, when you said there was a point where you and your daughters, you spend time together in the bed and crying. And for me, it was an emotional situation. And then and it showed me that even there's this stigma that says men don't cry and everything. So what is your thought on that stigma and say men do not cry, you just have to be, like they say, takas don't cry.
Yeah.
But in the book I saw when you said there was a time when the three of you will be together and you cry the situation out. Take us to that kind of thought. And what do you say even to other young boys who are facing situation that needs them to express how they feel, but they cannot because of the society?
Well, I think that, yes, we are growing up in a culture where they always say men don't cry. Not only that, I grew up in the village where I think that kind of a culture is even rifer and much stronger. Because in the village, you size each other up through fighting and so on and so forth. So somehow you learn to contain your emotions. You learn to contain, the crying. You fight your way and win. That's how it is. You have to stomach it. I grew up in that kind of environment. But, over time, I think also because of the fact that my father was also not there, I also had a lot of crying, that I did in my journey. But I learned that, crying was actually not a negative thing. Okay. When you cry, it's an emotion that you express and you release the burden that you're feeling within you. And I really think for me, I think as you were asking this question, I thought about the fact that, other people would be like, maybe I'm not supposed to cry in front of my children.
Yeah.
Yes, but the pain is so severe in that situation that you don't even have to think about. You don't think about that. I'm just reminded of a friend of mine who said when he was going through that, his son said to him, "Daddy, you don't cry. You are a man."
Imagine.
His son said, "You're a man, don't cry." So yeah, somehow he also just, so what I'm trying to say is, but I think me going through that, for me, it was not something that I needed to calculate, when to cry and when not to cry. It was just natural, and it was that, and I had to deal with the fact that my kids were breaking. They were falling apart, and I needed to be there. I was breaking myself. I was falling apart, and I needed to demonstrate the fact that also even though I was feeling vulnerable, we could cry to God for help, all of us, and we all depend on God. None of us depend on anyone at the end of the day.
That's a powerful point when you say, because you're a father, but God is your father.
That's
so
right.
It means if you just raising your kids. There is something that I've checked. There's a chapter when you say, remember your children.
Yes.
What do your children mean to you?
My children mean a lot to me. I must have been at the age of 10 or 12 when I was walking, and it suddenly crossed my mind that, the severe pain of being without a father. There's just a lot, even within the family situation, because we think, okay, because we're this family or with this clan, as African families, you find that this one is auntie's child and that one is, we're all under that one banner, one roof. But, there is a lot of favoritism that happens within, a lot of discrimination that happens within, a lot of pain that happens within. So you experience all of that if your father is not involved, is not available. And, having experienced all those things, I thought when I was young, that I really, really, when I grow up, I will be the most committed father. I will be the most committed husband. And you know what? That's how it has been. You know, in these past 12 years, in the past 12 years of my life, I've been committed. You know, as a father, I'm committed. I'm committed in both ways.
Yeah.
And hence my motto is, if I hit rock bottom, I will hit rock bottom on my back and my kids will land on my chest. And that's my motto, that's my mantra, and that's how I go.
When you're inspirational as a father, man, like it's, yeah,
Thank you.
You inspire me to be a better father to my daughter. But there is in the book when you share, because even your older daughter and there is the younger one who's having like a skin problem, and I think that's I want you to share about like how do you encourage her, because as a girl having that like feeling like that, how do you encourage her and how do you encourage yourself? Because having two girls, it's not a child's play, but how do you encourage them to say, to look up to life, to be energetic every day, and how then, like how do you encourage them and what encourages you?
Basically, in terms of encouragement, I think the greatest thing that we can give to our children is love.
Wow.
And that's the greatest of all. How when you love, you need to express it. I think there's a saying that you can give without love, but you cannot love without giving. You see, and I believe that love is an expression. You know, love is not just words. You know, being in the space of public speaking and communication and presentation skills and so on, one of the things that we talk about is the fact that your words only account for about 7%. In fact, the principle called the 55-38-7 rule by Professor Albert Mehrabian. It basically says your words only account for 7%, and it says your tone of voice is 38%, while 55% is actually your body language. So I believe that, you know, I have to express love all the time, and that's what I do. I hug my children every time when they leave in the morning. I kiss them and tell them I love them when they leave for school. When they come back, it's kisses and hugs and, you know, and love. That all the time. That's how it is. When you see us, if you probably were to see us shooting something, you would think that it's just a stance for shooting, but that's how we live our lives. That's the expression. That's how it is. And so even when we're going through that, there's a time when I needed to assure them even more than just hugging and loving them. And you know, there are times when I wake up in the morning, they would and going to work or going to meetings or whatever, they would be saying, "Daddy, when are you coming back?" You know, because they are having this anxiety that if even Daddy might just leave us. You know, if Daddy leaves, then what's going to happen of us? You understand? So I had to assure them that my children, Daddy will never leave you. I love you so much. I will never leave you, no matter what we will go through together, you know, as a family. And, you know, it touched me not long ago when, you know, the friend, my oldest daughter's friend, was, you know, had told my daughter that the father had passed on. She said, "Sure, that is heavy. I just thought about it if it was me." Yeah. And from there, it made me realize what I mean to her. Yes, as a father. It made me realize, you know, the way she said it. It's not necessarily, you know, that, but the way she said it. It you know, saying, I just thought of myself in her shoes. And for me, it also gave me the perspective that she is actually thinking, my father is the only parent I have at the moment that's available.
Yeah. And I understand that there are many guys who are facing the same situation, and they are not brave enough as you to go out there and share and encourage. But what message do you want to share with them as a way of encouragement, or as a way of telling them they are not alone, and they have to man up and deal with this? situation. What word do you have for them?
Yes, what I have for the guys out there, in fact, both single parents, whether you are a mother as a single parent or a father as a single parent, is, hold on, hold on to that baton and hold on, because you are actually in purpose. There's in life, we have a career, we have a business, we have a concept, we have an idea. But what is greater than all is purpose. You are in purpose. And once you are operating in purpose, you can rest assured that you have God's backing. And I want to say to you, stand strong, because, God is behind you in what you are doing. You are not alone. You have God's backing. And not only that, sometimes we think that because, being a single parent, some of the challenges that you face, your day-to-day financial challenges, for example, where money is not enough to take care of all your children. It's a reality that sometimes we're different. We come from different perspectives. Some have been blessed with money, some don't have, I just want to encourage you to understand that there are processes in life, and there's a process. One of my favorite quotes that I use in life is by Andre David Thoreau. It says, if a man does not march with his companions, maybe he is listening to a different drum. Then he says, however far apart or measured, however far apart from his companions, let him march according to the rhythm which he hears. What this says is, in life we should never subject ourselves to pressures because so-and-so is having this that I don't have, or so-and-so is somewhere in life where I'm not. Let us appreciate where we're at right now and understand right now that we are hearing a different drum. And however far apart or measured, let us march according to that drum. And not lose hope, because I believe that drum beats change. And there's a fast tempo, there's a slow tempo. Sometimes you may be marching on a slow tempo right now, but once you hit the fast tempo beat, the house tempo beat, a person who's going on an R&B who was ahead of you might just be behind you. So hold the line, stand strong. Keep loving your children, keep doing it, and it's great. It's the greatest thing. It's greater than anything. It's the more fulfilling thing in life. Thank you.
And this is the last question from the book, because I don't want us to give more, because I want you to read this book, because it's an amazing book, man. I don't want to say God bless you with this situation, but God bless you with this book. It's a beautiful book.
Thank you.
There's a chapter you said, love them. What do you mean when you say how? Because there are fathers who will say, I love my child because I bought them this, I give them money and everything. But according to you and the book, what is to love your children?
Loving your children is actually not expressed by money or the things that we buy. The things that we buy, are just a cherry on top.
Yes, sir.
They are not the cake. Because love is the cake.
Okay.
So, what I mean by loving your children, it is to be there in their lives. It is to know their daily struggles. It is to communicate with them. It is to take them on a daily journey of their spiritual. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a Christian. I'm a born-again Christian. I wake up in the morning and take my children through, prayer. We have a devotional time. When we're having that devotional time, if I care so much, because I know that they will be dealing with the harsh world out there, if I care so much, I should be so keen on preparing them for that. What I do, if, for example, my own version of the Bible is more solid in terms of the content, and I need to be able to break it down. I need to have DVDs. I have DVDs that I watch with them sometimes, and get them to watch those DVDs. Obviously the cartoons where this can be broken down at their level, and when we can have an interaction in terms of the kind of questions that they have, and then make sense. Interpret what it means to them as well. And some of them, they would say, but this is what they said in this story. And I would say, but in the Bible, that story is not there. They just put that in order to make this more interesting. So there's that. Working with them in terms of having conversations, at a spiritual level, having conversation regarding life as well. So I have those kind of conversations, and being there, doing my best in terms of preparing them, to face life, and furthermore to pray for them, because as they go out, one of my prayers is, Lord, please guide them, give them grace, give them favor. Give them favor with the teachers, the kind of teachers that will teach them. Let them not have teachers that will, damage them in terms of the words, the things that they say to them. Let those teachers speak grace over their lives. Let them have favor in terms of kids, friends that will encourage them, in their situation, because I may not reach where they will reach. So that kind of, those kind of prayers, those kind of walking with them. So I think love is to be fully involved. Many years ago when I started as an entrepreneur, I thought of many concepts, many great business ideas and everything. And I think one of the greatest ideas, one of the greatest concepts is the one that I'm living now. It's greater than any concept that I have of business. Wow. Greater than anything that, I think, yeah.
Okay. And last question that I have for you. If your daughters were here, what message will you share with them that you want them to keep forever?
The message that I want them to keep forever is, first and foremost, trust God. Trust God. And if you can trust God, you can trust a process that does not look like it's favoring you in life, because there are processes that are going to look like they're not favoring you. You see, now if your eyes are on God, because God is higher than the storm, so God gives us the spirit of an eagle. Because what happens when a storm comes, most birds, they run into the hiding, but an eagle goes to the storm, goes for the storm. And an eagle uses the storm to fly above the storm. And in life is like that. There are storms that come in our path where even friends and even family at times can say you are written off. You cannot make it, you are done. But then if your eyes are on God, then you're not going to be caught up into all the noise in the storm, because you will have your eyes and your ears above the storm. So when you're going through that, you know that it's only passing. And you will be above it in the end. All I can say to my children, please trust God with your lives. That's all.
Yeah, man, this has been an emotional show, but I know that my viewers, they will want you to come to speak about the books or to come and do talks. How would they get hold of you?
Oh yes, I'm on Facebook as Welile Mbolekwa, on Twitter as well. In fact, the page on Facebook is Welile Mbolekwa Motivations. Okay. On Twitter, the handle is Weja27. It's WEJA 27, Weja27. And I'm on LinkedIn as Welile Mbolekwa, as well as I'm on the other one. Instagram, yes. I'm on Instagram as Welile Mbolekwa. And you can get hold of me on my contacts on 083-692-6514. 083-692-6514. If you're outside of South Africa, instead of a 0, it's a +27. +27 83-692-6514. +27 83-692-6514.
Okay, guys, this has confirmed what I've said in each and every show, that we only bring in the best. Today we heard to Mr. Welile, and he's an author of Oh My God, I'm a Single Parent. Make sure that you get this book, you get this book, you read it, and invite him to come to your events, whatever events that you're organizing, to come and speak, and come into his book launch. This is Global Conference TV, My Big Story. We are here every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. I'm out.